Hello and welcome along to another episode of this Cricket 19 career with me, Daniel. It's episode 11 and today we start season 2, our second year and our final one as a teenager, and hopefully our final one at club level too. If we do well this season and perform as consistently as we did towards the end of the last one, I think we'll get a call up for our county before the end of this year. Our county of course is Yorkshire. We want to go and get there alongside some of our future England teammates. The likes of Joe Root and Johnny Bairstow will be there, and Gary Balance and other players who have been on the verge of the squad in recent years. So plenty of objectives and ambitions to aim for this season, but we've got to be more consistent across the whole year, not just in little patches, and we've got to do it with the bat first and foremost. It's our main job as an opener, and although we can take the odd wicket as a part-time spinner, we don't want to be relying on that to get us to county level. So we're starting with a 3-day match, and we're just going to start the first innings and see how we get on. We'll skip through the session with the ball if we are bowling first. We want to focus on the bat in the longest form of the game, as we're still trying to emulate Alistair Cook by reaching the England team as the test opener and obviously captaining them one day. But before we get into it, a massive thank you to everyone who continues to follow the series. I really do appreciate it. We also had the 10-part Ashes test playthrough beforehand, and I've been blown away by the support for that one. So a massive thank you for watching, and if you are new to the channel then do subscribe for regular content from this series, as well as our FM19 stories every day at 4:30. And if you're enjoying the content, please put a thumbs up on the video as we get into the first game of the second season. We're playing Redcar away from home. Again, it's the same 5 sides we faced most of last year. We're in the same region of the country playing club cricket, so the opponents aren't going to change until we reach the next level. Let's just go and get into it. We're not expecting too much today, but we are playing on the same pitch as before. It's something we're a little bit worried about now. It's been a medium standard pitch almost every single game, and I hope that isn't the case once we get to county level. I'm hoping there'll be a little more variation. But let's just get into the first match of the season, and we'll be back in a moment for the toss. Here we go then, it's the toss for the first game of the season and Leeds have called it. Let's see who wins and what we're going to be doing first. I really hope we're going to be batting. Redcar have won the toss, so they're going to choose. And what are they going to do here? It's taken a while. They've gone to bat, so we're going to be bowling first. We'll skip through that and see what score Redcar can post. Can we take a wicket or two beforehand? And then we'll be back in a moment to bat to see what total we'll be chasing. Okay, we're back to bat as Redcar have posted their score. We're into the final session of day 1. Redcar managed to put on 310, as you can see from the scorecard behind me. We didn't get a bowl at all from our captain, which is something we actually appreciate as a batting all-rounder. It wasn't a spinning pitch and we shouldn't be getting given the ball too often, and as a result Redcar have done okay. We rattled through their middle order pretty quickly after their front 4 put on a pretty decent score, but a little bit of resistance from the tail, 2 men into their 30s, and that's just put the score a little bit out of reach, particularly based on our form last season. If we go and have a look at our scorecard now, we are opening the batting with Crompton still, but we've been promoted to number 1, just as we were towards the end of last year. I'm not sure what the reason is for that change, but I'm not going to complain, it doesn't make much difference. It just means we have that pressure of facing the first ball of the innings, where it could all obviously go wrong, and we'd be an absolute villain if we got out first ball. But it's pretty much the same names from 1 to 11. We recognise them all from last year, so obviously no one else has been promoted to county level and we're going to have to make our way up. But let's go and get into our batting knock. Hopefully we'll be able to do well and not get out for the first ball of the innings and put on a decent score. It's really the form of the game we want to be consistent, and hopefully we'll be able to do just that this season. First ball then, we're facing the seamer. I'm not sure if he's left or right handed, but we have got space to the leg side if need be. We tried to play at one outside off stump. Unfortunately we've missed it and it narrowly missed the stumps. We just about survived with the first ball of the innings. Maybe we should have started a bit more defensively rather than trying to attack from the first ball. So we will be a bit more careful this time around. If it's not on leg stump we will just defend, and that one's a much better test match shot. Hopefully the county clubs will have watched that one rather than the last ball. Let's see if we can start scoring runs soon though. We're not in any rush to get off the mark. We've got to take the Alistair Cook approach here. The pitch is moving a little bit. That one's miles outside off stump, so we're just going to leave it through to the keeper. 2 balls left in the over. We've continued to defend, just leaving them through to the keeper or blocking them if they're closer to the stumps. There's no need for us to take any risks at the moment as we just try to see out the first over. It is the slight extra pressure when you're the number 1 batsman. You do have to defend a bit more, but the last ball ball of the over we get to the leg side, we make it back quite comfortably, and Crompton will face the strike at the start of the second over. A decent one as we didn't lose our wicket, but it was awfully tight with the first ball of the over. We managed to get off the mark in the end though, and hopefully we'll be back at the crease soon. Crompton gets a single off his second ball and it leaves us back on strike. There isn't much on the leg side in terms of fielders, but again we try and play at a short ball. It's the sort of mistake I didn't used to make in the older editions of the game. I was never tempted to play at short balls in test matches, not until we were at least past our half century, so I'm not quite sure what I'm trying to do here. I think we're trying to be a little too expansive. If they're outside off stump we're just going to leave them, and it will mean a slightly lower strike rate, but we'll skip through a lot of the defensive shots and we'll come back when we're scoring runs. 2 balls left in the over. It's the left arm over the wicket. This one's a short ball, but it's much easier to get away, but we just pick out the fielder and unfortunately it will still be a dot ball. Final ball then, we've got to make sure we don't lose our wicket. A single would be nice to stay on strike, and I think we're going to achieve that there. Down to the man at square leg, and after 2 overs we're 4 without loss, and 3 of those runs have been added by us. McLaughlin continues with his second over, but this time he's going over the wicket. Should make it easier for us to play to our strengths, as we can get it away to the leg side far easier. We don't really connect with that one very well though. Our timing was slightly off, and it's just going to be a single to bring Crompton back on strike. Hopefully he'll be able to add a few runs. He does add 2 and we're back at the start of the 4th. Vessel's into the attack again. He continues over the wicket. The left armour often causes a bit of trouble, and again we try to play at a short ball. It doesn't really bounce up quite as high here. He's got a bit more of a slinging motion. Second ball, and they've tempted us with this big space out to the covers. It's a short ball again, so we're just going to leave it through to the keeper. We've learnt our lesson from the last couple of times. Vessels continues and we're not going to be tempted. Willie's line drift as he goes along. I say we're not going to be tempted and then we do just that. It's come off our leg pad, but it's gone miles down to the leg side, so we are going to get a single off it as it goes to the bowler's end. We've already made it comfortably, but that's not going to count to our score. There's a new medium pace bowler into the attack, a very quick change in bowler, and we've got a one that we can flick to the leg side. It is just going to be 1 or 2, although the field's very strange out there. They've not got a man in our favourite region to hit singles, so we're going to get 2 quite comfortably. Another left armour bowler. We face so many of them at club level, and it doesn't seem to be so prominent at county level or international level in real life, so I'm not quite sure why there's so many at club level here. I'm not sure if that's realistic at all. One outside off stump and it's a short ball as well, so we learn our lesson and leave it through to the keeper. We're not as worried about this bowler as he hasn't got quite as much pace, but it does make the timing a little more difficult, as you just have to hold off on those shots an extra second. Let's see what we can do with the third ball though. We're 6 off 16 at the moment. It's a full delivery and we go to the leg side. I know it is a bit repetitive, but it's so easy to score runs there at the moment, and it's the safest bet, as you've seen how many times we've got out when we've tried to play expansive shots through the offside. Another 2 though, we move on to 8 runs and hopefully we can get to double figures soon. We're just going to leave that one again through to the keeper, and we'll continue to do that as long as we need to. Halfway through the 6th over, we haven't scored any more runs since, just a lot of defensive shots and leads through to the keeper. These left arm bowlers keep going outside off stump, and the extra pace of Vessels makes us even more cautious. Leads 19 without loss, Crompton's reached double figures, and as long as we can build a big partnership here, we should set a good platform for our side. It's another short ball, so we just let it through. We'll continue to do that as long as we need to. Final ball of the over, Vessels charging in. We're not going to be tempted by that big gap at cover, but we've got a full delivery and it's pretty close to the stumps. I've no idea what the wicket-keeper was doing there. I just saw him slumped on the floor diving to the leg side, but we do get a single off the final ball of the over. Leeds move on to 20 and we retain the strike. Into the 7th over, and I know a couple of people in the comments have mentioned about variations in shots and commentary, and I know there are little bits of repetition, particularly in these 3-day games, but it would be remiss of me not to score runs into gaps like this, as we get our first boundary of the day, through to the leg side, and there's a gap between the 2 fielders, and we found it perfectly to get our first boundary. We move on to 13 off 24 balls, and that's a good sign moving forward. But going back to our last point, it is just because we've got so nervy playing outside off stump, stump. We've got out with so many edges, particularly to the spinners, and it just means that I don't take those risks anymore, and we have to concentrate that little bit more, particularly when we're playing to the leg side off the short ball, which I'm trying to leave now to prevent that problem. We do have to be a little bit more careful, and quite often we are just flicking the ball away. We're not playing too many exaggerated pull shots yet, we're not really hooking, we're just glancing to the leg side, and even when we're doing the same down to third man, on the offside it's not been the most expansive of strokes. I guess this is more realistic for Test cricket, and it's why we've tried to show you more T20 games where we're able to be a little more flamboyant, play down the ground or play through the offside and not have to worry about the risk so much. We get another single there and we move off strike, but we've been given it straight back by Crompton. Final ball of the over, another dot we've faced so far, and this one is a bit more of an exaggerated pull shot. It was a short ball, but it was on leg stump. Normally they've been outside on the offside and we've not been able to play at them, but that one was perfect for us there, and it was a proper professional pull shot, and we get it away for a boundary. It moves us on to 19 and our scoring rate's increasing, and with 8 overs gone leads a 37 for 1. So Crompton must have lost his wicket between that over, and unfortunately we are one down, and this is why Leeds don't reach 300, and it has put a bit of extra pressure on us because we feel the need to score more quickly and be more attacking, as sometimes we think we might just run out of partners. This one's a leg side delivery and we get it away well. We beat the umpire there, who manages to get out the way, and it's going to go for 4 again. I think. Is the fielder going to get there? He just cuts it off, but it'll still be 3. So our new partner Doherty will face the next delivery. He's got 6 off 5 and is doing pretty well, but we're able to be a bit more expansive now as we face 30 deliveries and got more confident, and maybe that's the way we've got to think this year, starting slowly to build a big innings. We did it with Joe Root in our Ashes Test playthrough, and that worked extremely effectively. We were scoring at a strike rate of 25 for the first 200 balls and then a strike rate of 100 after that. We played at one outside off stump there, a momentary lapse in concentration, but we get away with it as it goes through to the keeper. It was nowhere near challenging the stumps. The second ball is a short one and it's on leg stump, so we get above our head and hook that away. 10 overs gone and it's Fitzpatrick continuing, the left arm medium pacer. He's been quite expensive in his 3 overs, as that one we just defend straight back to him. It was a full delivery but at an awkward angle, so we just wanted to make sure we take no risks. We're on 23 off 34 deliveries and it's about 10 past 5 in the evening now, so as we leave that one we just want to get through to the end of the day, as conditions should get easier as the match goes on. We've got 2 days to build a knock, and us staying in and getting a draw would probably be the best outcome for Leeds. If we try and bat expansively we're going to get out, and we can't rely on our teammates to get a big score. Halfway through the over, it's Fitzpatrick coming in. They've really closed out the offside, but then he bowls a bit of a stray delivery, probably not the line he was looking for, and we managed to get it away to our favourite area of the ground. The man at square leg throws it back, but it's a single to continue rotating the strike. We want to make sure we get 1 or 2 off each over. We don't want to let the bowlers have too many maidens. It will build confidence as we face a new man, a right armer coming over the wicket. He's our favourite type of bowler to face, plenty of pace on it as it's a short ball too, and we've completely misconnected with that one, and although we probably could have snuck through for a single, we didn't want to take the risk at that stage. A much slower delivery than we were expecting. He really caught us out there with a change of pace. He's opened up his field to the offside now, a man threw in the covers to get to, and we've gone for it a little bit too early again, but we are just going to sneak a single there. The man in the inner circle manages to get round, and he cuts off a second as we rotate the strike. We've lost another wicket as Doherty's caught, and now Jones is at the crease on 2 after 4 balls. 12 overs gone and we're losing partners quickly. They don't want to make it to the end of the day, but for us we can get another run to the leg side here. It is just going to be a very quick single. We didn't get quite as much on that as we'd hoped, but we've got to be here at the end of the day. You can see the way the rest of the team is collapsing. We're going to have to stand out massively. It's 20 past 5 and we've had about 94 overs of play today, give or take the odd ball for when the red car innings finished. We managed to get 2 to start this over, I think. The fielder's going to get around but not quickly enough, so it is going to be a second run to retain the strike. We've got about 6 overs left to play. I'm hoping we'll lose a couple because of that changeover of the innings. It was in the middle of a session, so hopefully that will have been a 10 or 15 minute break. But we've got to be here at the end, and I really hope Owen Jones can stay in with us too. We've tried to play at a short short ball there, it's barely bounced, and we've had another bit of a scare there, but we survive on 28. We're off 42 deliveries, pretty slow for us, but we're not going to complain about that at this stage, though we do need to stop poking at deliveries outside off stump. Doherty's starting to get a bit of success, and I'm sure his confidence will build from it. Halfway through the over, and they've left that gap to the cover region again. It's a short ball and we've been caught. We've done exactly what our two teammates did. We got tempted into the short ball. We didn't need to play at it. It would have gone through to the keeper, and it was his one for the over as well, so we wouldn't have faced any more. It's just a tiny tickle on the bat as we've waved it in the air, and it's gone straight through to the keeper. A simple catch in the end. Unfortunately, that is the end of our innings. We've outscored our two batting partners so far, but we haven't made it to the end of the day, and we've got out for 28. It's about our average score across the first season, so it's certainly not a disaster, but we really wanted to start improving now, as you can see how the rest of the team collapses. We've not even made it to 160, I don't think. Let me go and see what that score was. 162 we've got out for, and now we've got no chance of winning the match. So all we've got to do now is try and keep Redcar down to a decent score, and then we're going to have to play a classic Alistair Cook knock, a really defensive one to try and draw the match. I can't believe that we're the second top scorer there, despite a really average innings, and this Leeds side really isn't very good, as we're getting outperformed by almost every side. I was hoping they'd be a little more consistent this year, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So if we go to the overview of the match just to finish off the episode, so you can see how we've got on. Obviously we got 28 of 44 in our innings, the second best scorer in the team, but let's go and have a look at the overview of the match. Redcar leading by 249, they've got 8 wickets in the bank, and we are obviously getting a bowl now. That's the reason we came back from the simulation, so we will go through with that and try and get a couple of wickets. We just need to keep the Redcar score down, as I feel if it's too high, the batsman will try and chase it again, and you've seen with the top order of our Leeds team, they just completely collapse when there's any pressure at all. But if you did enjoy this episode and that start to the season, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of our new approach to the innings. I think it is the right method to start slowly in this form of the game. Before we were rushing off, and then we were getting a little bit confident, and we were losing concentration and playing silly shots. We're not going to keep taking those risks on the offside, but I've got to mature quickly and stop playing at the short balls. It's okay if they're on the leg side, but when they're that high in the air against the faster bowlers, we've got to learn to just leave them. So unfortunately it wasn't a great success, and our team's absolutely collapsing, but we've managed to maintain our batting average, and it's certainly not been a disaster. So we're going to go and bowl this innings off camera, and we'll be back in the second innings as we try and see out the game. Even if we are just playing for a draw, we've got to show we've got those Alistair Cook attributes. Subscribe to the channel for 3 episodes a week from this Cricket 19 career, every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at midday. There's also daily content from 2 long-term FM19 stories, which will continue through to the release of FM20. I'm really looking forward to that, and I've got loads of exciting ideas, so I'm hoping you'll come and join me for those later in the year. There's also weekly content from our Snooker 19 career every Friday at 4:30, and if you're enjoying the cricket content, do go back and catch up with our Ashes Test playthrough. We did a 10-part series over the last couple of months. But a massive thank you for watching and your continued support with the series. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time for another important episode as we try to rescue something from this game.